Hello everyone, I am Shaurish Kundu, currently a second year undergraduate from Jadavpur University, pursuing electrical engineering, and I will be taking your organic chemistry crash course for WPJ. Now, organic chemistry is a completely different world. Okay, some prerequisites are you need to practice a lot to master this subject, and if you master this subject, it is very easy to solve any problem with the basic concepts. So now let us start. Now let us first move to the basics. Now what is organic chemistry? As you can see, organic chemistry, this word has the word organ in it. Organ means life. Organ is related to life or which is living, right? So it has life in it. And life means plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, and all the living creatures that are existent. They are made up of organic compounds such as proteins, carbohydrates, and proteins, carbohydrates, and all of those. So these are the primordial stuff that all of the living beings should have. Okay, now these carbohydrates, proteins must have these four primordial elements in it. Those are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen, also known as the CHNO. Okay, these are the four primordial elements that every organic compound should have, and if these four are present, our journey towards organic chemistry begins. Right? So let us start. So now we come to our three more different kinds of functional groups that we'll deal with. First, it's alcohol. It should have this OH group in any of the carbon positions over here. Like this is a 1 degree alcohol. It is attached to 1 degree carbon. We will learn all of this in the upcoming lectures or in this lecture only. Now here this is a 4 chain carbon, and I put an OH over here. This is also an alcohol. If I put an OH over here, this is also an alcohol. If I put an OH over here, this is also an alcohol, and if I put an OH over here, this is also an alcohol. Now the properties of the alcohols does differ sometimes with the presence of OH in the different positions of the carbon, but they are more or less, they are quite similar in nature. We will be learning those in detail. Now we come to the aldehyde portion. As you can see, this must have the CHO extension at any of the carbons. Like if I have a 3 carbon chain, okay, and these are not bonded, so if I put the CH over here, this is also an aldehyde. If I put an CH over here, this is also an aldehyde. If I put a CH over here, this is also an aldehyde. Okay, these are aldehydes. The noted that it is for the main group should be lying over here, followed by a double bond O, and then an hydrogen. This will also complete the octet of the carbon, the duplet of the hydrogen, and also the octet of the oxygen present over here. Now we come to the ethers. These are the ethers. It should link two different kinds of carbon chains together with the help of O. Okay, like in this case we have two carbon chains having 2 carbons in each of it, and this is also an ether. It links a group with 3 carbons and another with 1, and another is also we can use it like this. This is also an ether and all, but make sure that it should be a carbon chain. Like if this, like in this case, if I move this oxygen to the extreme right and there is no carbon to be bonded with, but I come in contact with the hydrogen, this will give rise to an alcohol, and it will be not be classified as an ether. So mind it. For example, here in this case I it is like this. This is an ether. Now I can also draw it like this. These are all ethers. These are quite similar compounds, and now I for the sake of understanding, I move that oxygen group over here, and it gives rise to this thing. Now this is not an ether because it has hydrogen group over here. Okay, now you should be quite acquainted with these things, and you should be acquainted with this concept also. So now let us move on to the next part. Okay, so now we come to the functional groups. Okay, this is a very essential part, so please pay attention over here. By the function, the word function Okay, it's not related to mathematics, but the word function over here plays a very significant role. Function means that what does the main properties that the compound shows, or the presence of such groups or such molecular groups that provokes the molecule to follow such similar functions. These functions may be reactions or any kind of molecular arrangement or any kind of intramolecular bonding. So these are known as functional groups. Okay, now for the functional groups, we classify it into various different groups. We will be talking about the basics now. So the first, we can classify it as alkene. By alkene we mean these are the single bonds. Okay, this is the functional group known as alkene. These are all single bonds. This is the gas of butane, that is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. As you can see, all the bonds present over here are single bonds, and these are all carbon attached with hydrogen in all single bonds. Now we can come to alkene. In alkene we can have, these are the double bonds. Okay, these and these are all this one and this one is different. As you can see here, the number of carbons present over here are all same, but the number of hydrogen differs. And here the bond present is single bond, but here it is double bond. So these two will be different in their reaction and properties. This is also known as butene. Okay, but1ene. We will be discussing it in the IUPAC nomenclatures in the upcoming lectures. So this is butene. This is our functional group. Wait, let me highlight it. Okay, this is our double bond. This is our functional group over here. And notice this single bond is the functional group over here, and they are all different, by the way. Okay, please remember it. Please understand it. Okay, it is very crucial to understand these things to properly master organic chemistry. Then we come to alkyne. By the word you can guess, I think these are the single bonds present over here. This is butane, by the way, and this, it looks like this, and this thing is also, this thing is called the functional group over here. And as you can see, these all of these compounds look similar. They have the same structure, they have the same number of carbons present, but the functional group present here are different. So remember it, it is very crucial. Okay, but the functional group over here, it's of 3 different categories. And so these are the various kinds of functional groups present over here. There are also different kinds of functional groups, such as alcohol and all. We will be discussing in this lecture only. So I will request you guys to pause the video and brainstorm for a few moments and see all of these things, that whether you understand it or not properly. Okay, and please note down these things. These are very crucial at this stage, and try to understand and keep a crystal clear concept. So now we come to the classification of organic compounds. Organic compounds can be primarily divided into 2 main categories. These are acyclic and cyclic compounds. Okay, acyclic compounds, as the name suggests, the arrangements or the bonding of the atoms are not in any kind of circular like this. The compound that I'm drawing right now is also known as cyclohexane. These can be classified as a cyclic compound, as you can see. And one such example of acyclic compound is propane. This is the example of propane. Propane is a primordial fuel which is used in cooking and other various kinds of labs and various kinds of purposes. Nowadays it's also being used to drive cars and auto rickshaws. It's also mixed with a certain amount of CNG for the purification purposes. Now as we come to the cyclic compounds, these can be classified into 2 more categories. These are homocyclic and heterocyclic compounds. Okay, homocyclic, as the name suggests, that all the atoms present here, or the primary fulcrums that constitutes the cycle are of the same type. As we can see, this is a cyclopropane, and these atoms which are present are all carbon over here. So these are homocyclic compounds. The word homo means of similar types, and carbon atoms are constituting the main ring, so these are homocyclic compounds. And homocyclic can be also be into aromatic compound or benzenoid compounds. Now benzenoid and non-benzenoid, these are aromatic compounds. Now this is a kind of an advanced stuff we will be learning after we complete resonance and further electronic effect that we will be doing in the upcoming video lectures. For now, just remember that for the word aromatic means it is not related to any kind of aroma or smell, but it is relative to the arrangement of the electrons present here. Okay, it's we will learn different types of rules over here, and we will be practicing various questions also. We will be also learning the concepts. And benzenoid are also known as aromatic compounds, but there are many kinds of non-benzenoids. There are many different kinds of rings that are attached together with it. Okay, so these are the main things we need to know, and we will be discussing these benzenoid, non-benzenoid, the aromatic homocyclic, aromatic homocyclic over here in details in the upcoming video lectures. Now in the heterocyclic compounds, these can be classified into further more two categories. Like in homocyclic compounds, we classified into two parts. Those are alicyclic and aromatic compounds. Here we can also classify into two parts. These are also alicyclic and aromatic compounds. In alicyclic, heterocyclic, in heteroallocyclic, alicyclic compound, we can you can see that one of the main element present in the ring is oxygen, whereas over here there was carbon present. Now these are all carbons present over here in this molecule, but there another type of molecule is also present. This is oxygen. So this oxygen is not matching with the carbon constituting the ring. So what we do is we classify it as an heterocyclic compound. The word hetero means different. Okay, the word hetero means of different types. And also we can classify it as also aromatic compounds. As you can see, the arrangement of electrons here and here are of similar types. I guess you can develop a small kind of intuition that it's all dependent on the number of electrons and its arrangement. We will be discussing it in the further videos in a lot of profound details. We move on to the prerequisites part that we need to know, and we should be knowing these stuff before starting our main reactions and the effects in organic chemistry, the electronic effects and all that. So the first thing we need to know is that of the chemical bonding. Okay, we need to be proficient in hybridization, like that sp3, sp2, sp, and all the hybridization and the combination of the various atomic orbitals. We will discuss it in the few upcoming lectures, and I guess you are already familiar with these where you studied your physical chemistry or inorganic chemistry. So we will surely discuss it, no problem. And we should be proficient with our atomic orbitals and how they combine, and the number of electrons they are holding, their arrangement, their positions, all of these. Okay, and then we some concepts of atomic structures are also very crucial in it, such as that of the orbitals. Okay, number of electrons they are holding. Okay, and the quantum numbers specified with them, and that of how the electrons are rotating in the shells, and a bit of Bohr's atomic orbital theory. Okay, we will all discuss it all. So now let us move on to the classification of organic compounds. Hello everyone, I am Shorish Kundu, currently a second year undergraduate from Jadavpur University, pursuing electrical engineering, and I will be taking your organic chemistry crash course for WPJ. Now, organic chemistry is a completely different world. Okay, some prerequisites are you need to practice a lot to master this subject, and if you master this subject, it is very easy to solve any problem with the basic concepts. So now let us start. Now let us first move to the basics. Now what is organic chemistry? As you can see, organic chemistry, this word has the word organ in it. Organ means life. Organ is related to life, or which is living, right? So it has life in it, and life means plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, and all the living creatures that are existent, they are made up of organic compounds such as proteins, carbohydrates, and proteins, carbohydrates, and all of those. So these are the primordial stuff that all of the living beings should have. Okay, now these carbohydrates, proteins must have these four primordial elements in it. Those are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen, also known as the CHNO. Okay, these are the four primordial elements that every organic compound should have, and if these four are present, our journey towards organic chemistry begins. Right? So let us start.